Hello. Quick quote about love before we get into Pirkei Avot. This is a quote by a Lillian Hellman. She is a playwright, and I don't know much about plays, but I get some information through these quotes, and so I love learning about people, their experiences, and what motivates people to really think and explore different parts of life. And in this case, Lillian Hellman, the playwright, talks about love, and this quote is just wonderful. She states, "My mother was dead for 5 years before I knew that I loved her very much." And so Lillian Hellman says, "My mother was dead for 5 years before I knew that I loved her very much." And that is almost a human condition, isn't it? That we learn that we don't know what we truly have until that's gone. And one of the most important parts of life is to, as at least what we've learned over the course of the past several months that we've been studying Pirkei Avot, is that we look towards what it is that we have and truly appreciate, have a consciousness of what we have. And if you're like me, I've lost a parent. Has Shalom, anyone should lose a parent, God forbid. But when you do, you start to realize what love truly is. And it's even about appreciating more what you do have. And I think sometimes with great loss, you start, yes, obviously appreciating what is not there, but that you can apply what it is that you learn from that situation to the loves in your life. And remember that we learn that love truly is about the conditions that we create. Love isn't just a feeling, it's not just a verb. You hear about that a lot. Love is something that happens internally inside of us. Love is something that happens within. When we have good, pleasant feelings towards other people, you could say that is love. But isn't it about the creation? Isn't it about the conditions that we create that love can thrive? And so may we find time today to really work towards creating conditions in our life that love can just thrive. Okay, so let's do a Pirkei Avot. I know we've been a little sporadic, but here's the deal, and this is really exciting, is that we actually have come full circle. I know the past couple of months we haven't been as consistent, but we actually made it through pretty much. Skipped a few things, but we pretty much made it through. We're going to end where we started back so many months ago with Pirkei Avot, Perek, our chapter 6. Verse our Mishnah 6. We're going to start with continue that in the coming weeks. But we got to finish up 5. We've come full circle. That's where we started in Perek 6, chapter 6. So what does Mishnah 5 say? Chapter 6, Mishnah 5 says, "Do not seek greatness for yourself. Al tivakesh gedula le'atzmecha." So really, what it's saying is that you shouldn't go out seeking greatness for yourself. Literally meaning that what is it that you occupy your time with? Are you concerned about what other people are thinking? Are you concerned about what other people are thinking about you? Do you spend time? Is that how it is that your energy is spent, and what motivates you to do what you do is dictated by what other people will say, think, do, experience with you? Again, I need to have some kind of disclaimer that it's not about good or bad. We all do these things, right? It's not about good or bad. Isn't it true that people, you can meet somebody on a good day and they're in the best mood, and you think just wonderful things about them and how great they are, and then the very next day, if you were to have met that person and they weren't having a great day, you could think just the opposite. Aren't we? People that live on a spectrum at times, depending on a lot of different things. So we work as individuals to have the pleasantness, the peace, the shalom inside of us, that part of us that really lives in this world. That our goal is to live with pleasantness. So in this case, we shouldn't, at least according to Pirkei Avot, and I agree with this, do not seek greatness for yourself, right? Think about it, and this is just a little thing. Isn't it easier when you seek greatness for somebody else, when you try and lift somebody else up? Doesn't that lift you up? oftentimes I think about this is that, isn't it fun going to shop for gifts for other people? Isn't it fun to get things for other people? Isn't it easier at times? At least this is maybe my experience, is that it's easier at times to do for other people. It's easier to do for them than it is for ourselves. And then when we seek for only ourselves, doesn't it bring us down a little bit? We become weighted by the endeavor of putting ourselves first. So when we think about other people, when we concern ourselves with other people, remember that thinking, that part of our mind, when we put and direct our thoughts and really our emotions towards other people and lifting them up, do we not live more of a pleasant life, as opposed to when we are focused on our own greatness, our own experience, our own well-being, so much in our thoughts and emotions just focused on that? That can be very, very heavy and very, very constricting. So I just like that. So do not seek greatness for yourself, and do not desire honor. In other words, what motivates us and what should motivate us, and we started off with love, is what motivates us is the environment that we create. This is Hanukkah time, so we should be looking towards creating and letting our light shine, certainly, but letting the best part of us be a part of the world. And our best part of us isn't about our ego. It's not about us getting recognition. A lot of times it feels good to get recognition, but doesn't that feed a part of us that really is limited? And the spiritual life is one that is not limited, right? When we live in the body, when we live in our thoughts and our emotions, that's very limited. The spiritual part, and what Pirkei Avot is talking about, what our tradition is talking about, is that unlimited spirituality. And when we are focused on honor, when we focus on ourselves, when we focus on these things that are so limited, doesn't it hinder how much and how far we can grow? Again, it's not good or bad. You can grow as far as you want trying to seek honor. You can grow as far as you want to seek greatness for yourself. But the question ultimately is how far out do you want to go? Again, the realm of the spirit, right, and mysticism and so on. I just love that stuff. It's about how endless. It is endless. It expands into everlastingness. So, okay. So, do not yearn for the table of kings, for your table is greater than theirs. This is a great line. This is a great line. Do not yearn for the table of kings. Uh, um, I like this metaphor because we do that, right? We start off. I don't know about you, but Passover and Thanksgiving, there was kids tables, and it's from a very early age, right? There's always the table that you want to be at, right? Not the table that you're at, right? Because we started off, we educate kids from a very look. Even at our preschool, love it. Love going to the kids and seeing our kids and spending time with our kids at the preschool. But the table that they have is smaller, right? The chairs are smaller, right? It's we create these children's tables, and which means that there's different tables in the world, and that you need to rise to it, right? To whether it's the boardroom or whatever it is, there are tables that we want to seat at, and here it just says, "Don't yearn for the table of kings, for your table is greater than theirs." Is that even the highest table that you want to get? Want what you have, experience the table that you have, is why that's why it's greater, because your table, if you take true ownership, which means responsibility, which means acceptance. If I am truly accepting of where I am, then I have responsibility. If I'm not accepting of where I am, then I don't have the responsibility. It's the same coin, two sides of the same coin. If I truly take and I'm truly accepting of my lot, then I have true responsibility. And that's the importance of being at my table and knowing that my table, where I am in life, is the most important thing in my life, is that I accept my life for what my life is. And then once I have accepted it, then I take great responsibility for it, right? It just goes without saying. So if I truly appreciate my lot, I'm in true acceptance, I'm in true responsibility, I have true responsibility, my gosh, isn't it greater than even the kings? I'm not looking over, right? We do this at times, right? We look over at the other person's yard, the other person's table when we're at the kiddie table during Thanksgiving or Passover. We look, and is it more luring over there? But what if I truly took responsibility for my table? What if I truly took responsibility? Then I've accepted it. Okay. uh, and your crown is greater than theirs. So the crown here, of course, is about what what is the blueprint in life, right? Nobody gave us a blueprint. Nobody gave us the user's manual, so to speak, of life, right? Wouldn't that be the important thing in the Jewish tradition, right? In the Jewish tradition, what does the crown mean? The crown means really the Torah. The crown really means that we have been given this user's manual about how to live life. Ultimately, the Torah comes from God, right? That we are not looking to the king or people in power. We don't look to that for guidance in how to live our life. In other words, the user's manual. What do? We look towards the Torah to help guide us in what would seem at times to be a world in which there is not a lot of certainty, not a lot of clarity. And so, where do we get our certainty and clarity? Or, in other words, isn't life very uncertain at times? So, how do we deal with uncertainty? How do we deal with and live in a world in which we were never promised anything? And one of the great spiritual not even dilemma, but one of the great spiritual perspectives is that we are imperfect and that the world is imperfect. And part of it is truly taking that perspective and owning that we don't know. So here's that your crown is greater than theirs, and your employer. And here, when they talk about the employer is trustworthy, it means God in this case, and your employer is trustworthy to pay your remunerations for your deeds. Is that I've always liked when people give metaphors or ideas of ways in which to look to God or to our fellow or something like that, or people in our lives. In this case, when they say employer, they mean God. And if we look at that relationship, what's an employer-employee relationship? Is that we're in a contract. We understand if I do certain things, you will do certain things. Isn't this much like the brit, the covenant that we enter into? Is that we are in relationship. We started off with love. I want to just say that love and relationships are two separate things, two totally separate things. We often confuse that, right? That I love somebody and that will be good enough. And at times, those are two separate things. Love is something that is an emotion. Relationship is happening in between two people. In other words, here is that when we have the employer-employee relationship, it really is about that you expect certain things and I expect certain things. Certainly, I'll let you down, and certainly you will let me down. But there is, in a sense, when you fulfill, right, when you are really a part of that relationship and really in it, don't we have experiences that will show us that relationship is real in our life? That it's a place to express love. That is a place to express trust. That it is a place to express and live out our lives and share and really become the most we can be as human beings, because ultimately, and then we'll end with this and pick up with the Mishnah in the coming days, the final Mishnah, that isn't it that we as human beings here, the experience that we have is to be and live life, chaim, in the most spectacular way that we possibly can, right? We only given a little bit of time. So how is it that we can live the most spectacular life? Is in relationship. And just give you one example, isn't it through our relationships that we find out more about ourselves? Look, if we were an island out in the middle of nowhere, never had interactions with anyone, right? Or maybe we had a lobotomy, and we only had half a brain, and we could be very peaceful on an island with half a brain and some food. That's not life. Or I guess it is life, but it's not the life that we're living. We're living a life with a consciousness. We're living a life with other people. And it's through those relationships that we truly start to truly live. Isn't it true that the people closest in our lives, the people that we share day to day, will tell you who you are on a regular basis? And that's the material for living a full and conscious life. I know the people that I love in my life and the people that are in my life bring to consciousness and God into my life on a regular basis. Okay, so we will pause here, pick up on Parak, what is it? Parak 6, Mishnah 6 tomorrow, where we started many, many months ago. My favorite Mishnah, and we will experience it together. It'll take a couple of weeks to get through, and we'll end there. Have a wonderful day.